What's up, you guys? So in this video, I'm talking about how to acquire my first 50 to 100K or 250K and up. Okay, in 2023, what would that look like for me? What will I structure my credit? How will I go about my funding sequence to acquire this funding? I'll break this down, be transferring this over to a screen share. Let's dive right into it so you guys can work with me step by step. Let's go. Okay, so if I was starting from scratch, you guys, the first things in the first places I'll always take a look at is my credit. Here is why. Okay, why I think the strategy behind what we do is very, very important. Once we have the strategies down packed, it's a lot easier to then work backwards. Okay, so if I had anything negative on my credit, first thing I'll first take a look at is my clean up my credit. Okay, when we say anything negative, you guys know anything from derogatories. And derogatories are especially when it comes to our payments, right? Especially like late payments or anything of that nature. So any derogatory accounts, make sure that's cleaned up. Any inquiries that's not attached to any open accounts, anything in public records. Late. So we talk about late payments and derogatories. Also any collection items that's also derogatory. So anything of that nature. I'm just write this out here. Derogatory accounts, collections, inquiries. Let me just say this: late payments. So we know specifically when we say a derogatory account, what exactly we're talking about. Collections, inquiries, not attached to open accounts, late payments, anything in public records, obviously. Just make sure this looks really, really good. Why? Because credit gives us, credit to me is like the ultimate leverage. And it gives us, especially if you don't come from wealth, you don't come from, or you're just a smart entrepreneur, you don't want to use your own money. Let's just talk about the first ones, all right? We don't come from wealth. We don't have any rich uncles or anyone like that that's given us millions of dollars or even 10K, 20K to start our businesses, right? The first things I'll do there is totally clean up anything in my credit. Why? Because then once we clean up our credit, we can then go acquire our first 50 to 100K or 150K to 500K, just based on our credit. That is very, very important. Okay, so that's why I always take a look at my credit first to go for funding. It's the instrument that the banks are using to give out this money. Okay, cool. So I'll make sure my credit is clean. The next thing I'll do, okay, let's add so clean up credit. Let's add another slide here. Just duplicate real quick. Next thing I would do, let's duplicate this, would be, let's take a look at my credit. I'm going to ensure, obviously, that, okay, once the credit is good and the credit is clean, oh, by the way, when it comes to that credit topic, ensure like you're using like, you're seeing your FICO score, right? You make sure you're using your FICO score. Like we're going from things like My Score IQ, your Experian, I know creditreport.com. I know creditreport.com is free to get all three. You get that once a year. Or paid services like My Score. I use My Score for all my clients, right? It's easier. I can see all three, blah blah blah. Third party service is fine. It's like $1 trial, and then like $29 a month. Regardless of that stuff, make sure you're getting your FICO score. That's the most important thing. Okay, getting your FICO score, because that's what we want to use to get 0% business credit cards. Okay, number two, once the credit is cleaned up, now the process could take anywhere from 3 months, 6 months, however long it takes. Sometimes if you're really, really good, you hire someone that really know what they're doing, within 90 days or within the first month. Honestly, sometimes a lot of these things will come off, just depending on how much work gets to be done. Everyone's situation is obviously different. Okay, the next thing I'll take a look at so we can get funded is my relationship with some banks. Relationship banking. Okay. I currently have, accounts with major banks. right? Account with major banks. So like the national banks that everyone knows: Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, Truist, all of these guys, right? Depending on where you are. The next thing is also other financial institutions. I'll go with like credit unions in your area. Okay, in your area. Major banks, credit unions in your area. That would be the second place. I'll just take a look at, hey, how are my banking relationships? If you don't have those already, make sure you go ahead and get those. Okay. The third thing I'll take a look at here is my funding sequence. Okay. So if you don't have those relationships, open up a bank account. So here's the play on that. If you don't have those relationships yet, open up a checking account with them, get into their system, allow it be easy for you when you run your funding sequence in order to get it. Now, not all of them require a banking relationship, but it's just good practice. Okay. Especially if you're just going for the credit cards. For the starters, for the first 50K, 50, 60K, you might not always need a really long relationship. A lot of the times, honestly, for my funding clients who pay me just to do funding, they might not have those relationships. I just know the funding sequence that will work for them just based on their credit report. But for people in general, it's a good rule of thumb to have those relationships with them, just because now you're in the system, you're not a Joe Blow from off the street. A lot of times, it's a lot easier to do it. Is it a must requirement? No, it's a very, very high recommendation. Okay. Boom. So we cleaned up our credit. We have those bank relationships. Obviously have a business, right? Have your business incorporated with your bank account. I feel like I shouldn't even be saying it, but like, this is a business funding sequence, right? Like it's 0% for our businesses. So we can use that to leverage, to acquire assets and to build wealth, right? The whole lab method. It's very, very important that those are the three guiding principles of overarching principles and what we do here. We leverage credit, we acquire assets to build wealth. Okay. So if you're leveraging credit, we're leveraging credit usually on the business side, 99.99%. Now, some cases where we absolutely have to use our personal, that's fine. But I always use business credit. So I'll just write it in here. Have a business incorporated in your state with a business bank account and all that. Like come through like 100% legit, right? Maybe you have a website as well. Have a business in your state, right? So, and that would look like you have a biz bank account. You have a biz bank account. You have your EIN, articles of incorporation, website, phone number, operating agreement, phone number, op agreement. Everything that your business needs, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Business address, all that stuff. So like your business is legit. So when we do go, maybe like this, what I tell people is that when you have all of this stuff in line, the next simple thing to do after all of this, man, is like run those funding sequences, obviously the major ones first, and then on the back end, all these guys we should have a banking relationship with that really, really would look into this stuff. You're also getting automatic approvals. Like this stuff right here, this is what we're using for a guy that's we're looking for about 300K for him, right? All right, so last gem I'll drop on here is, so let's go with number 4. Number 4, what I'll put on here is your funding sequence. Your funding sequence. Why is your funding sequence important? Your funding sequence is everything, right? It's not like these banks would not give us money. It's like we don't know maybe the proper way to go about acquiring it, right? We don't know the proper way to go about acquiring it. So like, what does your funding sequence look like? All right, funding sequence. Let's dive in here. All right, for me, a funding sequence. Yeah, let me use another text here. Duplicate this, come down here. Let's change this right back to. So for the funding sequence, y'all, I don't want that to have take out line number one, major banks, right? And why I'm saying why I'm jumping into the funding sequence is because you guys right here when we say clean up your credit, you gotta, and there's another part in here is building up your credit profile, right? Building up your credit profile. That's very, very important. There's one thing to clean up your credit, yes, right? But now you ensure you want to build up your credit profile before you run your funding sequence, because your funding sequence is really based off how your credit profile looks, how thick your file is, how thin it is, what are the comparables that it has on there. Okay, so you want to for sure like have apples to apples in which you can match. Okay, here's an example of apples to apples. Apples to apples is like this. You have a 10K card with let's go with Bank of America. Okay, and now because you have a 10K card reporting on your credit, you go over to Chase like, hey, listen, I'd like to apply for credit for business credit card. They pull up your account. They see the credit card play on they see the 10K credit card on your personal. Now they give you a 10K credit card on the business. Okay, it's very, very important that you align that credit report for automatic approvals by having comparables. Okay, that's a huge gem that guys in our Insight pays big money for. So you guys take that and run with it. Okay, so before your funding sequence, ensure your profile has matches and comparables. Okay, write that down. Ensure your profile has matches, has comparables. And multiple accounts. If possible. If you don't have multiple accounts, you don't have a lot of accounts, okay? Something simple you could do is have comparables. Something simple you can do is have some AUs, but it has to be done strategically, okay? All right, so funding sequence, and then once you have this, just go ahead and run your funding sequence. This is what I would do. I would run funding sequence. I'll go for 5 to 10 accounts, 5 to 10 business credit cards. Okay, and how will I pick these guys? How will I pick the guys to go for? Right, I will do that based on my credit profile, And I did a video on my like top five banks for funding. Okay, I'll give you guys some of those examples like Chase. On the business side, okay. Chase BOA is pretty cool too, especially if you have an account with them. A lot of these guys, if you don't currently have an existing account, they might just deny you flat broke. Okay. Some credit unions. This is where you want to just do some simple research. Like a lot of the gems are right in your backyard, you guys. A lot of the gems are right in your backyard. Okay, so we got Chase, we got BOA, and some bigger known credit unions, and maybe like Navy, Alliant, Alliant, First Tech, Okay. So if you run this right, let's say you got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? If you have really good comparables right here, you're more than likely at like more like 70K. Easy. Okay. So if I was starting from scratch and I wanted to run a quick 70K, I might run something like this, right? I might simply run something like this. All right. So you guys, if you found value in this, I know you did, share this with someone that you truly, truly care about so they start to understand the strategies as to what it really, really takes to use literally your not use your own money, to leverage the bank's money, leverage, and by leveraging our credit, acquiring assets and building wealth. See you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. See you soon. If you like more content like this, man, drop a comment so I would know, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace. Let's get it.